to today's second episode of Care Sandwich. I'm so excited. I've got Jamie, who is a really special person. We actually work with her here at Marketing Boss, and I'm excited to have her come onto the virtual stage and share how she helps law firm owners and yours truly with her awesome solutions. But first, check out this video.
Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Eberlein, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course,
well, welcome back. I have a super special guest. Jamie, join me on the virtual stage.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. I am so excited to interview you. I know it's been a long time coming. We talked about it months ago, and I'm excited that the day's here.
Yay.
Tell us about you and about your awesome company and how you help law firms.
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm so excited to talk to you finally. And as you said, we work together. So I was just really looking forward to this conversation. But as someone who is a wife, I'm a mother of 7. I am a worship leader. So I'm trying to balance like my faith and my kids and my, and then I'm also a fellow business owner as well. And so I'm trying to balance all of these things in my life together. And really, I think in my career, I just faced a lot of obstacles, maybe in rooms that weren't for me, always looking younger than everyone else, like I wasn't supposed to be there, or sometimes male dominated rooms. And I really just found a place where my skill set, which was in operations, and my passion could collide. And that's how I started Seeker Solution. And that is my company. I'm the founder and CEO. And as you know, Margarita, I have fractional services that small, medium-sized business owners and law firm owners that we work with need services for. So we have your fractional CEO, COO, fractional CFO, fractional HR, all the different services that many of the owners' hats when they wear need to take them off and hand them off to us. So that's how my company came to be and got started, was with that passion and background in operations.
So walk us through your typical client or your typical business owner that comes to a point where they need you, but they don't realize they need you yet. Like, what are they feeling? What are they going through? What are some of their problems? What are some of their issues?
Yeah, so that's actually a really good question. And one of the commonalities that we see is that they're a growing business, they're successful, so they're starting to scale and they're starting to see success in that. So their team size is getting a little bit bigger. Their revenue might be, their top line revenue is coming in a lot more. And things are starting to become a little bit harder to manage by yourself. So I would say everything kind of flows through the owner, and they're still really deep into the operation side of things, even though their business might be a little bit bigger than that calls for. And so you start to see, in terms of feelings of overwhelm, feelings of, hey, I'm feeling like I'm always running behind or running late. I can never catch up. Everything's always on fire. You're in a very reactive mode and not a proactive mode. You don't have time to stop or think or plan, and you're just kind of getting through the day. And so those are typical feelings that I think that a lot of owners express before they start working with us. And from a system standpoint, you really at the end of the day, you tend to be the bottleneck in it because all of that workflow that is starting to get bigger and bigger is still having to flow through that single source because you're wearing all of those hats. And so that's why we have a lot of those fractional services so that you can start handing off some of those responsibilities to really a trusted C-level, business like us that can take over an HR department or take over operations for you. And so that's really what we do. And so those feelings, hopefully, we start to see pretty quickly start to change a lot more to feeling like, hey, I'm a lot more in control of things. We're starting to not be so up and down all the time and unpredictable. Things are starting to be steady. We're starting to see scaling in a more healthy way. And yeah, that's what we bring to the table.
I think that's a key word, healthy, because I know so many business owners that even in the marketing space, because I can relate to your target avatar with the marketing piece, because we do the fractional CMO piece, like where they are not healthy, like they're just doing, like they're doing it the hard way. And it's like, oh, I don't need any help, right? And they know it's not healthy, but it's like, and I'm saying this with compassion, you don't take the steps to set yourself up for that like relief that you really need to get healthy. I'll give a simple example. I think me personally, right before I started working with your company, I feel like I was able to handle it. Like I really was, right? And everything was on fire, but I was gaining weight. I wasn't going to the gym anymore. Like I was not in a healthy place. And I was like, wait a minute, like I'm pulling this off, but this isn't healthy. Like I want to like sleep sometimes. Like, you know what I mean? And
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
and I would even add to your description of the target avatar, if I could put myself in that box, is you have a desire to be healthy and you also have a desire to scale too. Because part of what went through my mind was I could push a little harder and get to my next in this unhealthy way and then level up, but then I'm going to hit that ceiling again. Like
Yeah.
you have to have that hunger for big because
Well,
yeah.
yeah, I think you said it. I could, but
Yeah.
you should, maybe not. I think that's the key is when we have all of these responsibilities in all these areas, and I talked about being a wife, a mom, a business owner, a leader, we're leaders in all that we do. Okay. And so usually if we're unbalanced in one area, it's not about balance. I don't really believe that it's not a balancing act. It's an integration really that happens within your life. It's figuring out how to do them all, but how to do them all in, like you said, a healthy way. And so what tends to happen is when one of the things get out of whack, like I'm spending all of my time on the work side, then yeah, some of that has to give in some of those other areas. And you get to a point where you're like, okay, where you started noticing, okay, I'm sacrificing me, my health, my, physically it's showing up. And it can show up emotionally, mentally, where it's not just a heavy load physically, it's showing up in other areas. And so I think being able to address those things and say, okay, I could do all these things, but if I were to do all of those things all of the time in all of the areas of my life, well, then I'm going to be, landscaping and cleaning and painting my house if I feel like a room needs to be painted. Could I do them? Yes, I could do those things. But should I hire somebody else who does it every day that can do it fast and efficient and knows exactly what to do? They can tape off the wall and paint it in, such a small amount of time where it would have taken me a lot longer. I would have gotten messy. I would have gotten some clothes dirty and, I probably would have been a little bit stressed out along the way. So it's not about whether you can do something. Just because you could doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, and to be fair, like I do think that there's a lot of value in knowing how something works in your business and
Sure.
owning it as a business owner. But to your point, like it doesn't mean you have to do all of it. If you are doing all of it, then it's not a business, it's a job that you've created for yourself. And in some ways, a little bit of a prison if you're like,
Absolutely.
running around in it. It's yeah.
Absolutely. And I say that time is your pay your dues time. When you're first getting started, you got to pay your dues. You have to do the work, and sometimes you have to wear more hats than you probably should. But it's okay because you're just getting started. You've got to be, a good steward of your finances. You got to make good decisions, and you can do these things. So I do think that it is okay when you're paying your dues and you're on the front end of it. But if you're still doing those things and other things are suffering and you've grown to a point where it is probably beyond you, then that's when it starts to be counteractive for you.
Okay, so let's say that I am listening right now to this episode and I'm a law firm owner and I'm like, Jamie, all right, it's time. I need help. Walk us through what can we expect when we reach out to you and your company? Like, how do you begin to like really uncover like what the plan's going to be for each of your clients?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So some people already know what the problem is. Some
Yeah.
people know I have no business doing numbers. I don't know why I'm still, making financial decisions. I don't know how to manage, the books or what I don't know what the P&L is telling me. I don't know what any of this is. Some people have already self-assessed, okay, that's not my strength. Other
Mhm.
people really don't know. So we have two different ways you can engage with us. One, self-identifying, like I said, hey, I'm not a people person and yet I'm the HR contact. I have no idea why. I need to not be doing that, right? I just need to, and those are like, your engineers or people that just need to like work or tinker or whatever. So we have a
Right.
lot of people that self-assess in that way. So you can say, hey, we need this service. I already know what it is. And so you bring us on a fractional capacity. The second way you can do that is I am feeling all of those things. I am seeing all those red flags that you're talking about, and I don't know where I need help. Could you come in and help me? So those are the 2 points of entry, and both of them start off the same way once you engage with us. And that is, we come in and we don't just come in and start doing, we come in and we do an assessment. We start asking questions. We start learning about your business, what your systems are, who your people are, how things kind of work, what your mission, vision, values are. Where do you want to go? What do you want to be? How do you want to spend your day and your time? What are your strengths? Where are your gaps? How do we fill those things? And so we assess that either in that particular area that you've already identified. So both of
Mhm.
them start with the assessment. Either we're starting, so if it's like HR, okay, well, let's do an HR assessment. Or if it's a general, then hey, we can do a general assessment, look at key things in all of these areas, whether it's finances, your people resource management, your operations, efficiency, process, that kind of stuff. We look at all of those things, your strategy, how do you make business decisions? And we give you recommendations and we come up with just a high level list of, hey, these are the areas that we feel we can come in and look for some low hanging fruit and say, let's get some quick wins in your company that is going to give you immediate relief. What are some of those things? And we present them to you and we say, hey, we want to do X, Y, and Z by this time and roll that out. And then we work with the owner, either whether it's an attorney or, I mean, maybe your goal is to get back into the courtroom. You have not been able to do that at all. And it's like, look, this is why I want to at least, get some time in there and get back to what I got into this business for. And so we look at those goals and we tell you kind of how we think you can get there and the quickest way possible. You approve that. And we just basically knock out like a punch list and just start going. And then once we get through that, and it's typically a 90-day period of, hey, let's just start bearing down and doing this work, then it becomes we put the ball in your court and we say, hey, all right, what have you got going on this week? What are some trouble areas? What are areas of friction? Where do you need to get better? What's going really well? And we start identifying things in those areas and start knocking them out along the way. So you can either bring us in temporary part-time to kind of bridge a gap for you and help you to transition into just a better perspective in your role and get you on your feet that way, or we can be on as a long-term department, take over as, your whole HR and everything flows through us in that regard. So it's really set up as a fractional service to be a support for business owners like yourself.
I love it. And I love how flexible, you can be because you have experience in these different areas, that you mentioned the HR operations, all of that. So I think it's great. So if you're listening and you're like, my hair's on fire, everything's on fire, someone please help me. And Jamie, let's talk about this for a second because I so admire you. You're a mom of 7, okay?
Yes.
An entrepreneur. Like I'm a mom of 5, so to meet somebody like you is like, whoa, unicorn! So,
I know we're on the
yeah.
same team.
and I know. I always joke that if there's an efficient way to do something, I'm gonna figure it out because I have 5 kids and I ain't got time. So it's no surprise that you do what you do in your space. I'm so well aligned with that. So I think another thing that I would add that's super valuable about working with a firm like yours is, at the end of the day, if you are like a family person, a mom, a parent, you are building a business and all of that, but like, what are you really giving up? And is it worth it? Right. And you could just get the help that you need so that you don't have to give up so much. I'm all about the hustle and the grind, but I learned, right, finally by kid number 5, these are precious years. Like I should. It's crazy. My oldest is about to turn 18. He's a senior in high school and he's got like a full mustache. Like he's like a man, right? And like I look at him and then I look at the 5-year-old and I'm like, the 5-year-old has a completely different mom. Like I'm so much more present because unfortunately or fortunately, like I learned the hard way, right? Like I didn't get it during those earlier years of my entrepreneurial journey where I was a business owner and agency owner for many years before in another lifetime before Marketing Boss. And I didn't see my kids and I was like paying my dues. Like you got to get to a point where you're like, okay, like this is no longer paying your dues. This is like, just there's got to be another way. So definitely Jamie, big shout out to you as a human being, like so inspiring. And this business that you've built is, I can attest, I can talk about my testimonial all day long, but super, super helpful, proactive team, very caring, very thorough, very systematic, like check, all the boxes. So super happy customer here. Jamie, how can folks get a hold of you if they're like, all right, Margarita insisted, we're now going to hire you. How can people get a hold of you?
Yeah.
Want to get started?
I would just say go to our website. We have everything on there. We've got all of our solutions, so you can see the different fractional services that we have that we provide. You can see our team. Check us out there. We're also on Instagram, like the socials, LinkedIn, all that kind of stuff. So you can find us seekersolution.com. And yeah, just reach out if we've got a contact form on there. There's a phone number even. I know it's really weird these days, but you can pick up the phone and give us a call and we'll answer. So
you answer when somebody calls your phone?
We do. Yes, our team does answer when you call. So you can send an email if that or a text message if that's more comfortable. I get it in this day and age.
Yeah, absolutely. I love text messaging. Well, Jamie, it's been great. We have one more question and then we'll let you get back to your day. What is your favorite sandwich? Because after all, this is the Care Sandwich Podcast.
Oh, I love me a good Reuben sandwich. It has got everything on there. You've got the beef on there, the roast beef, the sauerkraut for that like rich taste, the rye bread and the Thousand Island dressing. I'm a sauce girl. So that is just like, and it's a hot sandwich too. So that's like the perfect sandwich for me.
That sounds delicious. I'm a sauerkraut girl too. I love putting sauerkraut on random things. This has been great. So there you have it, folks. Jamie Seeker with Seeker Solutions. Go ahead and hit her up if your hair's on fire and everything's on fire and you're ready to get some help. And they'll take good care of you. And I hope you enjoyed today's tips. We'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.
Thanks, Margarita.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you on the next episode of